Have you heard about the devastating fires that are happening in California? They are so big and scary that they leave their mark not only on nature, but also on the lives of thousands of people. In this video, we will talk about these impressive events and try to understand what they might mean. But that's not all. We will look at these fires in a special way, connecting what is happening to what the Bible teaches us about current times. Could these events have something to do with the signs that God left us to understand the days in which we live? Stay with us until the end, because we are going to share a powerful message that can change the way you see all of this. This is an invitation to reflect and discover together what these events have to teach us. The crisis in Los Angeles, when fire consumes everything. Imagine waking up and seeing the sky tinged with red, the air filled with smoke, and everything around you in danger. That is exactly what is happening right now in Los Angeles. The fires in the county have reached historic levels, and the situation is more serious than many imagine. Devastating fires and their aftermath. Right now, major fires are raging across the region, destroying everything in their path. More than 10 lives have been lost, and families are dealing with immense grief. One of the fires, called Pacific Palisades, along with the Ion Fire, has already destroyed more than 10,000 structures, including homes, businesses, and even schools. The chaos intensified when evacuation alerts were sent out in error. Many people were left confused. Should I leave or not? This caused panic in communities, and unfortunately, some were completely destroyed. In addition, there were reports of looting amid the destruction, which led to the imposition of curfews in several areas. Just imagine losing your home and having to worry about safety. Fighting the fires. Fighting these fires has not been easy. The weather does not help matters. Strong winds spread the fire quickly, and dry terrain acts as fuel for the flames. Every spark seems to turn into an uncontrollable monster. And as if that weren't enough, budget cuts have directly affected emergency responders. Without enough resources, saving lives and property becomes even more difficult. In light of this, President Joe Biden has sent 2,000 military personnel to help with the effort. These soldiers are working side by side with firefighters and volunteers, trying to contain the spread of the fire and protect people. This crisis makes us think about the fragility of life and the impact of such devastating events. But what can we learn from it? Stay with us, because there is still much to reflect on. What does the Bible say about all this? Now let's take a step back and look at current events with a deeper biblical perspective. It's 2025, and it seems like the world is facing one challenge after another. Earthquakes, storms, and devastating fires are everywhere. This makes us wonder, is all of this connected to something bigger? What did Jesus warn us about in Matthew 24? Jesus already knew that difficult times would come. In Matthew 24, he spoke of signs that would happen before the end of time. He mentioned that nature would be in turmoil, with earthquakes, storms, and other events that would shake the world. One of the most well-known verses says, "For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places." Matthew 24, verse 7. Now look at how this sounds like what we are experiencing today. Wildfires are consuming cities, hurricanes are destroying entire communities, and earthquakes are popping up in unexpected places. It's as if the earth is screaming, reminding us of Jesus' words, the role of natural phenomena. In addition, we have something scientists call El Niño and La Niña. These natural phenomena affect winds and ocean temperatures, and this can cause major changes in the climate. They intensify things like droughts, storms, and even wildfires. And that's not all. Think of hurricanes that seem to get stronger, tsunamis that leave their trails of destruction, and tornadoes that appear in places where no one expected them. All of this reminds us that creation is going through something much bigger than we can understand. Why reflect on this? These events may seem scary, but they also give us the chance to reflect on our lives and our faith. Jesus warned us not to scare us, but to be prepared and to trust in God, even in difficult times. Nature is showing us signs. It is up to us to pay attention, seek answers, and live with more purpose. Let us continue this journey of learning and reflection together. What do natural disasters tell us about the world and God? Let's imagine together. When something as big and impactful as an earthquake or hurricane happens, it's as if nature is giving us a warning, calling our attention to something important. But what does this mean? Is there a message behind all of this? Let's talk about it in a simple and profound way. Nature as a spiritual warning. In his teachings, Jesus spoke about difficult times that would come before the end of time. He mentioned not only natural disasters, but also wars, famine, and diseases, as if they were signs that show us that something big is happening in the world. When we see earthquakes, hurricanes, or forest fires, we can interpret these convulsions of nature as a spiritual warning. It's as if the world is telling us, hey, it's time to pay attention. These events are more than simple phenomena. They invite us to look within and think about what really matters. Impact beyond nature. These disasters don't just destroy cities or forests. They also profoundly affect people's lives. Imagine losing your home or your job to a hurricane. In addition, these tragedies intensify social, political, and economic crises. It's like a domino effect. When something big happens in nature, it triggers other problems in the world. But these moments also show something beautiful, the ability of people to come together, help, and rebuild. Even in the darkest times, there is hope and goodness, a chance to reflect and grow. Perhaps most important of all is what these moments teach us. They are a chance to stop and reflect. How are we living our lives? Are we taking good care of the people around us? Are we prepared for the challenges that life may bring? Jesus encourages us to be vigilant, that is, to be attentive to the signs and ready to act. He also reminds us to trust in God, even when everything seems uncertain. The message of hope. These events, no matter how difficult, show us that there is always a light in the midst of darkness. They are a reminder that we are never alone, that there is a greater purpose in everything, and that God is always with us, guiding and strengthening us. So let's use these moments as an opportunity to grow, to love more, and to trust God more. Nature may be screaming, but we can listen with our hearts and respond with faith. Living with purpose. What do signs tell us about our lives and our faith? When Jesus warns us to be prepared, he is not just talking about something distant or symbolic. He is calling us to a life of attention, purpose, and action in the here and now. The signs we see in nature, such as earthquakes, hurricanes, and fires, are not just natural phenomena. They can be seen as invitations to look within ourselves and evaluate the path we are on. Why did Jesus speak about being prepared? Jesus knew that the world would face difficult times. He predicted natural upheavals, wars, and crises, not to scare us, but to help us live with a sense of urgency and meaning. In Matthew 24, verse 44, he says, "Therefore you also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him." This message is not about living in fear of the future, but about living with purpose in the present. Being prepared means cultivating a close relationship with God, loving and caring for the people around us, recognizing the value of life and using it to make a difference. Nature signs, a voice we can't ignore when we think of wildfires like the ones in Los Angeles or devastating earthquakes and hurricanes. It's easy to see only destruction. But what if we look at them as God's way of reminding us of something bigger, physical and spiritual together? Extreme weather events show us how powerful, yet vulnerable, God's creation is. They remind us to take better care of the earth and to live in a way that is more connected to the values He taught us. An invitation to change. Every disaster can be seen as an opportunity to reflect on our choices. Are we living for ourselves or for a greater purpose? The importance of living with purpose. Living with purpose does not mean doing great things every day, but rather aligning our daily actions with God's teachings. Here are some practical ways to do this. Care for others. Help those who are facing difficulties, whether by offering your time, resources, or simply a friendly shoulder. Value life. Stop and be thankful for each moment, even the simplest ones. A grateful heart transforms how we see the world. Seek God daily. Pray, read the Bible, and ask for guidance to live according to His plans. Protecting creation. Consider how you can contribute to caring for the world around you by recycling, conserving water, planting trees. Natural events and divine purpose. Disasters can seem daunting, but they remind us that God is in control, even in the midst of chaos. In the Bible, we find comfort in verses like Romans 8 verse 28, which says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." This means that even in the most difficult times, God is working to turn pain into purpose, chaos into opportunity, and fear into faith. Spiritual preparation. How to get started. Read the Bible regularly. This helps us understand God's plans and trust Him. Pray with an open heart. Talk to God about your doubts, fears, and dreams. He is always listening. Help others. Small acts of kindness are powerful ways to spread God's love. Trust God in difficult times. Remember that He never abandons us, even when we face challenges. God never abandons us. In the most difficult moments, when everything around us seems uncertain and even frightening, it is important to remember one powerful truth. God is in control, and His light never goes out, even in the greatest storms. The Bible gives us this assurance in Isaiah 41 verse 10, which says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This verse reminds us that even when we face difficulties, whether it be a natural disaster, a loss, or a personal doubt, God is there for us, holding our hand. He offers us strength when we fail, comfort when we are sad, and guidance when we feel lost. A light in the midst of darkness. Think of difficult times as the darkest night. It seems like everything around us is shrouded in shadow, but it is in the middle of the night that the stars shine brightest. Likewise, life's challenges help us see God's love and presence more clearly. These situations are an invitation to draw closer to Him. It's as if God is saying, "I am here. Trust me. I have a bigger plan for you. Hope for today and always." No matter how big the storm is, it doesn't last forever. Just as the sun rises every morning, God promises us a new beginning. In Lamentations 3 verses 22 to 23, we read, "It is because of the Lord's steadfast love that we are not consumed, because His compassions never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." This means that every day, God gives us new opportunities to start over, to grow, and to experience His grace. You are not alone. Sometimes the journey may seem lonely, but you are never alone. God knows every pain and worry in your heart, and He is present in every step you take. He places people around us to support us, sends signs of His love in unexpected moments, and gives us the strength to carry on. If you are facing something difficult right now, remember, God has already seen the end of this story, and it ends in victory. The best is yet to come. The challenges we face today do not define our tomorrow. God has plans for you, plans for peace, joy, and a future full of hope. As He tells us in Jeremiah 29, verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Trust in that plan. It is bigger than any difficulty, stronger than any obstacle, and more beautiful than we can imagine. Hold on to God's hand. If you feel like you are carrying a heavy burden, give it to God. Pray. Talk to Him like you would talk to a friend. Say what's on your heart and trust that He is listening. Hope in God is like an anchor, steady, secure, and unshakable. No matter how big the wave, you are safe in the hands of the Creator of the universe. Always remember, you are loved. You are strong. God is with you, and with Him, you can overcome anything. May this message of hope touch your heart and fill your life with light. The best is yet to come.